You know, so yesterday I made the video talking about what's it all for, right? And today I I get up, I do my morning routine, and then I'm going to edit a video, and I left my computer charger at the place I ate lunch yesterday, and then I go and pick that up, and that little moment basically kind of sparked some joy in me, and I get in the car and I'm playing the song Better Year by Sam Barber. And immediately my mood just goes up, because, just the night before I'm like so tired. It's the end of the day and I'm just, running through thoughts and I'm like, dang, what where are we going? What do we do? But we're 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 active, but we're also, taking the time to rest. I think the island, that's something I've really loved about the island is take the time to rest, and you can lose track of time when you live where I'm living, and it's not even a bad thing, you know. Um, I think that's a part of kind of the exploration of my life right now is, I tend to make decisions the way when I decided that I was going to live the way I'm living. I started making decisions going, when I'm 75, what will I think of the decisions I made now? And it makes my life easier because it makes I make decisions that I know I'm not going to regret. Because when I'm, 80 years old, 85 years old, and I'm sitting somewhere just kind of, recollecting all the memories and going, yeah, you know what? We spent just the right amount of time, at this place. We spent the right amount of time here. We put the right effort, and it really does help ease my mind. But yeah, the song Better Year comes on and I'm like, you know, this life is really funny because you have all these range of, emotions that you feel, and I'm obviously I'm not like a Christian or anything, but you know, I think it wasn't a Christian that said it, but this too shall pass, comes to mind. And just like 12 hours ago, I was just deep in my head about, what's it all for. And now the sun rises and it's a new day, and you tackle the new day, and you get new energy, resting. And, you know, one of the best things I obviously could have done was start making vlogs, because now that I've actually found a little bit of, understanding with Final Cut Pro, I'm loving going on my computer every spare moment that I have. And sometimes I don't even want to leave my computer. I just want to make these videos, And this is where music for me has been so important because, some people make music for a long time and they never get noticed. But the people that do notice them, that connect to their music, it means the world to them, you know? And I have a few artists like that for me. And even popular artists, and they all talk about it, right? And I'm just in this beginner stage of actually getting a little bit of a grip on what I'm doing, And you go back to the work, and the work is also play for me, learning to edit videos is play for me. I enjoy it. And maybe that's probably why it's easy. And I also think there are times where when I don't know what to do, I go to the computer as a way to like get lost in something, and it's work. And I don't think that's a bad thing either, but it's not really work. it's a something that I really do feel connected to. If I don't really feel lost, but if I don't know what to do, I start making a video, and just that alone gives me direction. And so, yeah, a new day, new attitude, the sun rose, learning to stay balanced when I'm having the thoughts of uncertainty, to stay balanced in the uncertainty, and when the times are good, to also enjoy those times. You can really, you know you can enjoy those good times, enjoy them to the fullest, and then when there are times that have some uncertainty, or decisions need to be made, stay level headed. And another thing too is, you know those days that feel heavy, you need some of those. You need the heavy days so that you can really remember, you can understand happiness, joy, peace, ecstaticness, like all of these other emotions on the other side of the nerves, the the worrisome, thoughts. You need some of those so that you can appreciate the good times and the happiness that you're able to then feel. Something like, I wouldn't have appreciated this life that I lived had I not gone through the bullshit I went through years ago. I don't think I would savor each moment the way I do now without being stripped of everything, you know, and understanding that, nothing really bad, nothing really that bad ever like happens to most of us. Some people have it, they have it bad, like yeah, it's bad. But most of us, we don't really have it that bad, or really nothing really that bad happens to us. Now that's also all based on perspective and such, but you know, I certainly will say, you know, it's a trip to feel like every day I'm constantly lost in in what's life all the time. It's and it's one of those things where I think I'm trying to figure out. I'll never figure out life, obviously, but I'm trying to understand it through so many avenues. You know, I don't even know what I'm learning by editing videos. I don't feel like I know what I'm truly learning. Maybe, but it it does add a dimension to the understanding of life, and then even cooking, there are times where like other areas of life will click while I'm cooking. And then, getting in the ocean makes me forget about, it's almost like the world comes to a standstill the minute I'm in the ocean, and I just feel like a child, splashing water everywhere, you know. And so there's so many different ways that life will throw in your bucket. There's a lot of things in my bucket. And it's like a trail mix bag, so you get a little bit of everything in one bite. And then there are times where you got to sort things out, and you just maybe feel like eating just this today. But the point of this video is, you got to take it as you go. Take it as you go. And also you gotta be able to laugh at yourself, because I was laughing at myself for the fact that, I was so worried about, not super worried, but I was just like, man, 12 hours ago, I know how I was feeling and sitting in the car going, what's it all for? And now I'm just like, it doesn't matter. I'm alive and the sun is shining and I've got food and I've got my computer and I'm good, and I'm going to go to work. And it's like, you know, it's, it's just great to be alive. I think that's it. I don't have it all figured out, you know, and you know, I don't even think money certainly does alleviate stresses, but I don't even think it's everything. But I also know what money can do, so I'm definitely not going to disrespect money. You very, very much so need to respect money, you know. But don't we probably shouldn't worship money. We shouldn't, but we should certainly have a very delicate respect for money and understand, you know, and understand all of that. Because I mean, without money, I certainly wouldn't be where I'm at now. You know, like this computer's been a fucking life changer for me. So I'll stop there. No need to talk too much more. End it there. Today is a great day, and I feel good. Yeah. Good night.